If I could have a superpower, what would it be?
If I could have a superpower. Oh no.
If I had a superpower, it would probably be.
If I could have a superpower, honestly, I think being able to manipulate time would be pretty cool.
I'd probably choose the power to mimic because, like, that's a pretty open-ended superpower.
Probably empathic mimicry. It's a really bizarre one. And it's this one where you have this ability to steal or copy other people's superpowers, which is only useful if you live in a universe with superpowers, but I always thought it was really cool and it made me feel kind of OP, so I like that one a lot.
If I could choose a superpower, probably shape-shifting. But I want like a specific shape-shifting. Like I want to be a wolf man. Like, can you just like a big anthropomorphic wolf, like bipedal wolf, and just like smash through things and have claws and teeth because I love werewolves.
If I had an apple, I could just like bring it back to a seed if I really wanted to, or bring it all the way down to compost. Or if someone's dying, I can just reverse their time, I guess.
I could touch something metal and be like hard as metal, or like mimic different superpowers even for a short period of time, because there would have to be some sort of drawback. But
The reason why is it always seemed really cool to me to be superhuman. And I don't know, I grew up with all these influences in my life, fictional influences, of course, but like characters from the show Charmed, like Phoebe Hallowell. I really liked Sentry from Marvel Comics and the Phoenix, and all of them kind of play off of that superpower in one way or another. And I always wanted to be this big, magnificent, powerful being, because you are physically impervious, but the catch for the characters is that they're emotionally vulnerable, and I really liked that about them. It felt very humanizing.
To complete assignments in time, because I seem to be having an issue with that lately.
I don't know, stick up for people that can't stick up for themselves.
I think it would be cool to be a tank, just like destroy shit, run into battle. And wolves are cool. I like werewolves.
What's my biggest fear? Besides spiders, I'd have to say, like, dying alone. My power probably correlates with that because, like, mimicry could also be social mimicry and, like, the ability to make friends, which is something I've struggled with before. So, like, there's some, like, deep, dark past in there, probably.
My biggest fear is birds. They are terrifying. Like, they're pure evil. You could just see it in their eyes, or lack of eyes in some cases. Fear is a primal instinct, and shape-shifting could be considered primal because it's like turning into an animal. So, I guess the fear of birds is like an instinct, and it involves animals.
Oh, okay, so my biggest fear would definitely have to be heights. I'm terrified of them. If you put me on a balancing pole and I had to walk across a gap that was, I don't know, say 20 feet high, I wouldn't be able to do it without shaking terribly and like grasping onto the pole for dear life.
My biggest fear is a little hard to pin down. It fluctuates a lot growing up. It used to be, like fear of heights, fear of darkness, fear of being alone. But I think my biggest fear now is probably dying. Dying young and dying without saying what I want to say. Just having anything unresolved.
My biggest hope? I'd probably say my biggest hope is just that karma exists, that, like, what comes around does go around, and, like, people who are doing bad now will get theirs in the end. And I guess if I was a superhero, I'd want to, like, try and be part of that force that, like, brings the justice to things.
I want to survive. That's it. I mean, it's kind of just that. Yeah, just want to survive. You know, make it enough so I don't want to end up on the streets. So my hope is I never get into that situation. So.
I hope to succeed in life. I'd like to succeed in my career as an artist, doing animations, 3D animations for companies, and actually being a part of movies, video games, just the whole works. If I could have more relationships in my life, I would, rather than money, because I honestly spend my money on the people that surround me more than I do on myself.
My biggest hope is to leave the world a better place than I found it, whether that's through, you know, good deeds or through my artwork, whatever I end up doing later on in life. I see a lot of misery in the world, and I feel like my purpose here is to try to alleviate that misery for at least one person, hopefully, but, you know, more on a grand scale to make it a better place for many people if I can.
So what would be my superhero name with my power? That's a really hard one because I'm really bad at coming up with names. It's probably cliche, but it'd probably be something to do with mirrors. But, like, the only thing that's coming to mind is Mirror Mask, but I know that's a Neil Gaiman novel, I think. Yeah, let's go with something like that.
If I had to choose a name for my superhero, it would probably be Rewind.
I would want my superhero name to be my current pseudonym that I use for my artwork, which is Ash Striker, but I might just shorthand it to Striker because I think that's a pretty kick-ass name.
Big Puff Fluff Wolf Daddy. It's not a terrifying name. It's not a name that would strike, like, fear. But you know what? I'm pretty sure the bad guys would, like, just end up laughing, and that would be my way to make a sneak attack. Just charge in while they're laughing. It's gonna be, then the battle would be done. Like, I mean, but they'll die of laughter. Oh wait, that's pretty grim. Never mind.